The BlacklegCM app is a new tool which gives you an estimate of potential yield loss from blackleg based on different management strategies. The app is designed to allow you to fill in what you are going to do in your paddock and compare how different management strategies will impact on yield loss and the profitability of that crop. You can find the BlacklegCM app by searching BlacklegCM in the App Store. The app is only available for iPads or Android tablets to ensure full functionality. Once you open the app, you will see there is a summary of the different management strategies you are comparing in the app. Scenario A, Scenario B, and the difference between these two scenarios. This video will take you through the different selections you can make within the app to design the management scenarios, which will give you an understanding of how the app works. Firstly, we can look at crop circumstances. We can select target yield, which can be the same for both scenarios by linking these two, or it can be different. For example, if you are growing a different variety in scenario B and could expect a higher yield. You can select the grain price that you think you're going to get. Select your production cost based on your own production system. Estimate the amount of canola that is going to be present in your district, which helps assess your risk situation for blackleg. And also input spore maturity risk. This is the risk of spore release early in the season. Late spore release can reduce disease severity. In the West, check the blackleg sporicle model on the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development website, and in South Australia and the eastern states, leave sporicle risk on the high setting. In relation to paddock setup, you are able to choose the distance from previous stubble, both 1-year-old and 2-year-old stubble, and then you're able to select variety options. For this scenario, I might choose Banker for scenario A, and a Pioneer variety for scenario B. The varieties show the resistance rating and also the resistance group for that variety. You can change seeding rate and also choose whether the resistance status is reduced in your region. Blackleg can overcome the resistance of your cultivar, and in some cases the blackleg ratings will reflect the loss of resistance. For example, ATR Bonito falling from an MR to an MS. However, in some cases the blackleg rating will not reflect the regional loss of resistance. To determine regional loss of resistance, you can look up how each resistance group performed in each region. Go to the NVT website and search Summary of all Australian blackleg monitoring sites. The document here will give advice on which groups and therefore cultivars may have reduced resistance in your region. More accurately, you can monitor your own crops by cutting the base of stems at windrowing to determine if your cultivar has reduced resistance compared to previous years. For example, an R-rated cultivar should have clean stems. If you find a canker, then resistance loss has occurred. If you have grown a cultivar from the same resistance group for more than 3 years, it is likely that the resistance status of that cultivar on your farm will be lower than the advertised blackleg rating. The National Canola Pathology team will also release warnings if major failures occur, such as Group D on the Eyre Peninsula in 2012. After variety options, you can then fill in your fungicide options. You can choose whether or not you are going to apply a seed dressing, how much that seed treatment is going to cost, and whether or not you are going to apply flutriafol in furrow or a folio fungicide at the 4 to 6 leaf stage. You will then be able to see that in scenario A, your target yield was 2.2, but your expected yield is 1.9 with a loss of 0.22 tonnes per hectare to blackleg. Then in scenario B, you can see your target yield was 2.6 tonnes per hectare. You're expecting to achieve 2.4 and your loss to blackleg is 0.07 tonnes per hectare. We can also see net return in dollars per hectare, and in the third column, the difference between the two scenarios. You can easily link particular sections by pressing the link button. For example, applying a seed dressing and Prosaro to both scenarios. This is a tool which can be used throughout the growing season as well as in planning. Its accuracy improves if you know what your yield potential is going to be at the end of the season. So, you can do your planning at the beginning of the year, then reassess at sowing based on pre-season rainfall and during the season to determine whether to put an in-season folio fungicide on. For example, in 2018 you've sown Bonito with a target yield of 2.5 tonnes per hectare. There's 25% canola in your district, and the crop is 100 metres from 1-year-old stubble and 0 metres from 2-year-old standing stubble. And you haven't applied a seed dressing. So we can see here that your expected loss from blackleg will be about a tonne per hectare. So we can then use column B to show the impact of each fungicide option. For example, adding jockey and then flutriafol in furrow will reduce your loss to blackleg to about 0.4 tonnes per hectare, and you'll get a net return of $564 per hectare. By then also applying Prosaro, we can see it reduces your yield loss again to 0.23 tonnes per hectare, and the net return increases to $601 per hectare in this scenario. There are a number of further options to compare your two scenarios in detail, accessible via the menu of these 3 lines in the top left. This includes net return, a yield view, a grain price view, and more. The variety listing is a handy feature which allows you to add varieties as favourites, and add notes to each variety. For example, if that cultivar has a loss of resistance in your region. You can find out more about these and other features of the app using the handy Tips menu, accessible via the light bulb or the Tips option on the main menu. You can also reset the scenarios at any time via the Reset option in the main menu.